guys, this is Miss Cagle. So I wanted to go over your Unit 6 assignment. I went ahead and updated everything in Moodle to reflect our new deadline. So due to all of the craziness going on with the virus and everything, we're obviously a couple weeks out from my original set of deadlines, about a week and a half out. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over Moodle and show you what you need to do in Moodle, show you the deadlines, go over the guidelines of the assignment. There isn't anything in terms of formatting that I need to show you, or really any reason for me to create a PowerPoint. So I'm just showing you my screen, going over all the aspects of what you need to see in Moodle. I'm going to go over the components of the assignment and also go over the components of the written component for this unit, but also the mini assignment that will be due soon. So let's go over this first. So Unit 6 is going to be focusing on job research and a field interview. So you, at this point, I know a lot of you guys are in the College and Career Promise program. I know a lot of you are young and haven't quite developed exactly 100% what you want to do yet. And some of you may have. Some of you may be in the field that you want to stay in for the rest of your life, and some of you aren't. And that's okay. So what we're doing now is we are focusing on getting some more information about the career that you want to be a part of, and doing that using what's called a field interview. Now, if you notice, your dates start today, obviously, because it's the first day of the unit, and going through April 21st. Well, I guess technically April 20th. I'm not going to change it now, but I will. That is when your field interview memo report assignment is going to be due. So you do have 2 weeks for this particular unit, 1 week to really hone the interview, give you a chance to set up an interview with a person, and then another week to take your interview and to write your memo report. So so here are the bullets of what you need to make sure you do today. You need to read the guidelines. We're going to go over those. I do recommend reading them on your own a little clearer. I'm going to hit the main points. Sorry if you keep hearing the door. I am at home and my son keeps going in and out. You need to read the notes, and there's several notes and videos in the interview skill and help for information section in Moodle. That's the next section under the unit. So there's helpful tips and notes, interviewing tips, interview questions, and interview check sheet, because you're not going to ask these guys what their favorite vegetable is. These interview questions need to be focused on the career that you want to enter in. So reading up on how to do that is really helpful. You can also look at chapter 12 as well in your book that's attached. Then you're going to watch the lecture video, which you're doing now. Your secret word is due on April the 9th. The secret word is interview. Even though I did give it to you a little early, please hope that you are going to continue to watch this. Make sure at this point you're also working on scheduling and conducting your interview with a professional in your field. The information you learn from your interview will help you to prepare the upcoming job materials unit, which is going to be coming up soon. That's all about resumes and cover letters and things that you'll need to get the job that you're researching. You're going to have a pre-interview activity. I'm going to go over that with you after we go over the requirements of the interview. That way you can kind of see what you'll be doing. And then it is due. In Moodle, I've also given you a sample field report interview here that you can actually look at, and I'll pull it up and we're going to go over that as well. I have a lot of tabs open, but we'll work it out. All right, so let's make this big so we can see it. Here is the guidelines for the memo report. So for this assignment, you're going to conduct an interview for someone in your field or future career and then summarize their responses in a short memo report. So this is going to help you to learn more about your future career, and it also is going to help you for your job materials unit coming up. So you need to set up an interview, conduct the interview with plenty of time, inform of your purpose, You will need to plan your time, be organized. Remember, you are working on their time, not on yours. They are the professional and you are a student. So you don't need to schedule it on what works best for you. You need to schedule it on what works best for them because they are being nice enough to help you out. Make sure you're dressing professionally. Tie isn't always necessary, but definitely you don't need to show up in your sweats or gym clothes or greasy work clothes. You need to show up in your professional outfits for this as best you can with what you have. Make sure you're taking good notes, but don't be unattentive. You don't want your face stuck in your piece of paper. A good tip, you can also, if you have permission of the interviewee, you can actually record it, maybe using your phone. Record the interview. That way you can listen back and make your notes there. It's helpful. And then make sure you're sending a follow-up thank you email or note. We learned in Unit 1 how to send a professional email. So I do recommend that you do that as well. You're going to have 8 to 10 questions for your interview. And you can always ask them to expand. That does not count as one of your 8 to 10 questions. If you say, please expand on what you had to say, that doesn't always count. So here's some examples, some questions. What do you enjoy most about your career? What steps do I need to take to prepare for a career in blank? What advice would you give someone like me as I'm preparing to enter the field of blank? So you're going to be writing a memo report for your interview. We have gone over memos ad nauseum, basically. If you cannot remember, Unit 2 was the memo unit, so go back and rewatch that lecture video. It will help you. So you're going to, a short memo, be sure to include your interview questions and interview notes or summaries of the responses. You may number the questions and type the summarized responses underneath the questions. In addition, be sure to include the name, title, affiliation, and the date of the interview. So here is your proper ABC format. So your abstract introduction is going to be a clear statement of the purpose, outline the main points of the memo. This is where you're going to introduce who the people are in the memo. Body is going to be the summary of the interview questions. If you're using any direct quotes in your summary, make sure you put those in quotation marks. And then provide an ending and include a few statements about what you learned. So in summary, this is what I learned. This is what it's going to take for me to get into the field. This furthers my interest in the field. Or be honest, this could maybe dampen your interest in the field. I remember I used to want to be a geneticist, and work with biology. And so I did a job shadowing thing when I was in high school, where I went to a lab in a hospital and just looking at some of the stuff and talking to the people and looking at what would be required of me and the bodily fluids they had to mess with and stool samples and things. I learned through that job shadowing experience that was not the career for me. And you may learn during this interview experience, if you do it right and you take it seriously, that this isn't the job for you, and that's okay. That's the beautiful thing about being in college, is you get to change your major if you want to, or you get to make decisions that affect your life before you get too far in. I was a chemistry major before I was an English major, and I learned through college courses and discussions with my advisor that chemistry wasn't for me. So if you find that that's happening, don't get bummed out about it. That's just showing you at a young age what you need to do moving forward. So I digress. I'm going to get off my soapbox there. So your memo should be 1 to 2 pages in length. Make sure you're single spacing each section and then putting a clear space between each one. Use headings to label the section of a memo report, but you do not have to have a table of contents. So introduction, summary of interview, and conclusion. Remember, those should be in all caps and bold. You can read that. I am going to be checking for grammar as per usual. Grammar and formatting will be part of the rubric. So do make sure that you're paying attention to your grammar and to your formatting. Because at the end of the day, That's where you guys tend to lose the most points. Very rarely are you guys losing points in content. You do a great job with content. The issue is your grammar, and because you're not paying attention. This should be professionally written. We should be capitalizing. We should be using commas appropriately. We should use apostrophes appropriately, spelling things correctly. There is a whole grammar section in Moodle that you can go if you have questions, or send me an email. A lot of you don't do that, so maybe you should. All right, so let's see what else I've got. So you're going to conduct a pre-interview field appointment sheet for me. It's just a pre-interview activity, and this is going to be due on April the 13th. You're going to download the document. I think on the document in there, it's going to say like this is due by November or something. I just didn't change the date. Don't worry about the date. This is due on April 13th. It's in the to-do list at the top. So you're going to be thinking within this week of what you want to do. Hopefully this is done earlier rather than later. I don't want this turned in on April 13th. It's due on April 13th, but you should be interviewing your person way earlier than that. But anyways, here's your you're going to put the name of the interviewee, where they work, why you chose that person, and your 8 to 10 questions you're going to be asking. So let's go over a sample interview report here. So here is your memo here. This is the date. To, that would be me. From, that would be you. Subject, field interview summary report. Introduction, this is kind of going into why you are doing the interview, what the purpose of the interview is, when it took place, and why. Summary of the interview, you're giving me a little paragraph about who the person is and why they are the expert in the field and why you chose them. And then here are the questions. I really want you to look at the types of questions chosen. Background, the reason they're in the business, what type of business form. So, if you're wanting to start your own business and this is someone who started their own business, that's a really good question to ask. Advantages, disadvantages, how do you market your business is a really good thing to ask. The biggest issues, what do you enjoy most? Ethical concerns, what steps do I need to take to run a business? What advice would you give someone like me coming out of college? This is obviously about someone who's wanting to start their own bee business. You're not wanting to start a bee business, but a lot of these questions would work depending on the reason why you chose the person that you did. And then the conclusion. So if you'll look at the length, we've got a full page and a quarter, and I'm okay with that. 1 to 2 pages. If it's more than 2 pages, you've written too much. Look how neat it is. Look how easy it is to read, how it's sectioned. I expect yours to look like this. If yours does not look like this, you will lose points. So that is the this section for this particular unit. This is the grammar section. If you scroll down, mine's a little longer than yours. Grammar, writing resources. There's tons of things that can help you be a better writer. So if you're running into the same issues, there you go. That's all I've got for you guys. If you have any more questions about this unit, let me know. Remember that your lecture video and the secret word, which is interview, is due on April the 9th by 11:55 p.m. If you're having internet issues because of COVID-19, or you have been displaced from work and not getting paid and that kind of stuff, and you're having struggles with your work, I need to know before the due date of your work. Okay. If you're unable to meet face to face to get an interview done because of COVID-19, and you would like to do the interview over the phone, or email them the questions and have them respond and email back. I know that a lot of you guys are in essential because you're doing car stuff and things like that. So they are considered essential. If the person that you want to interview is not essential, or you need to do this over the phone or through email, that is fine. This interview, because it is because we are in weird times, obviously this interview does not have to be face to face. So to reiterate, if you need to do the interview over the phone or through email, that is fine. The interview is still due April 21st. There is ways to get the interview done even if you can't meet face to face. If you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. If not, I will talk. I'll have another video up on April 21st. Thanks, guys.